Question 1. In the context of managing firewall efficiency and root cause identification, Mr. O'Connell, senior security analyst, notices inconsistent firewall behavior where packets are dropped despite matching the rule base. He wants to verify which firewall chain is handling these packets and understand if these are user mode or kernel mode decisions. What is the most effective approach Mr. O'Connell should take to achieve detailed insight into the packet flow and decisions? A. R80 plus drop and analyze the kernel decision points in real time. B. Use SmartView Tracker to analyze logs and infer drop reasons. C. Apply NetStat R80 to examine kernel routing tables for packet path anomalies. D. Enable debug mode in Smart Console to simulate policy path and log generation. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation log plus drop provides real-time kernel-level insights into why packets are being dropped, including the specific CFW chain, etc. responsible. This is critical when SmartView Tracker logs are insufficient, especially in kernel-level drops not reaching user space. SmartView Tracker B. Only reflects user mode decisions and cannot always capture kernel internal processing. NetStat C. Shows kernel routing tables, but not firewall decisions. Smart Console's debug D is helpful for rule-based issues, but not real-time kernel visibility. Relevant reference. Checkpoint admin guy R.3. Usage and firewall kernel chains. Question 2. Given the circumstances, a security team is setting up a site-to-site VPN between a checkpoint security gateway and a third-party firewall. They encounter an issue where the VPN tunnel is established but no traffic flows. Logs show clear text packets should be encrypted, but which of the following is the most likely root cause? A. A NAT rule is applied before VPN encryption occurs. B. The VPN domain is incorrectly defined, leading to mismatched encryption domains. C. There is a routing loop causing packets to bypass the VPN interface. D. The peer is using ICAV while checkpoint is configured for ICAV only. Answer. Correct answer B. An explanation. A clear text packet should be encrypted, and it typically signals a mismatch in VPN domain definitions where checkpoint does not recognize the destination as part of the VPN domain and sends it in clear text. NAT rules A could interfere but would log different errors. Routing loops C would cause packet loss, not encryption issues. Like version mismatches D would prevent tunnel establishment, not allow it, and then drop encrypted traffic. Reference. Checkpoint VPN Administration Guide. Site-to-site VPN domain configuration best practices. Question 3. From the perspective of centralized threat monitoring, an enterprise deploying SmartEvent wants to ensure they're able to detect correlated events across multiple gateways in near real time. Which of the following configurations would best ensure SmartEvent provides meaningful, up-to-date security insights? A. Enable event policy in Smart Console and configure SmartEvent correlation units with 5-minute polling. B. Directly connect each security gateway to the Smart Reporter server and increase log retention to 90 days. C. Use CPView to collect all system metrics and send them to the Smart Log server. D. Deploy dedicated SmartEvent server, enable the event policy, and ensure log indexing is active on the log server. Answer. Correct answer D. Explanation. SmartEvent requires a dedicated SmartEvent server, an enabled event policy, and active log indexing to correlate and analyze data in near real time. Option A refers to outdated polling models. Smart Reporter B is deprecated in favor of SmartEvent. CPView C is for system metrics, not event correlation. SmartEvent relies on index logs and a working event correlation unit to identify patterns such as port scans or brute force attacks. Relevant guide. SmartEvent Administrator Guide R.40 Architecture and Real-Time Monitoring. Question 4. Demonstrated by a recent failover test conducted by Mr. Nadeem, a cluster member failed over to its standby pair. However, after restoration, the original active member did not resume its active role. Which of the following best explains this behavior in a cluster XL environment? A. The cluster is configured in load-sharing unicast mode. B. The priority of the restored member is lower than its peer. C. The maintain current active member box is checked. D. Cluster XL is set to high availability mode with preempt disabled. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. When clusterful operates in high availability mode with preempt disabled, the cluster does not revert to the original active member after a failover event. This ensures stability and avoids unnecessary failovers. Maintain current active member. C. Doesn't exist in clusterxl but in Smart Console for VSX. Priority. B. Is only considered when preempt is enabled. Load sharing unicast A would cause members to be active. Reference. Checkpoint clusterx R.40 guide. Preemption behavior and hum modes. Question 5. To better understand how zero-day threats are mitigated, Tanisha configures threat emulation and threat extraction. She wants users to safely open documents while allowing deeper analysis to proceed in the background. What configuration best meets this requirement while balancing usability and security? A. Enable threat emulation in hold mode and disable threat extraction. B. Configure threat emulation in background mode and threat extraction in clean mode. C. One threat extraction only, skipping threat emulation for performance. D. Set both threat emulation and extraction to detect-only mode. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Threat emulation in background mode allows files to be delivered immediately, while threat extraction in clean mode removes active content macro scripts to provide a safe version instantly. This ensures user productivity while the emulation engine analyzes potential threats. Hold mode A causes delays. Extraction only C misses zero-day threats. Detect only D provides no protection. Only logging. Reference. Checkpoint Threat Prevention Admin Guide. Threat emulation and extraction configurations. Question 6. While examining performance logs, a checkpoint engineer notices suboptimal VPN performance between two sites with multiple internet connections. Both sites have properly configured map multiple entry point. However, performance varies greatly. What settings should be checked first to ensure consistent VPN path selection? A. VPN tunnel sharing is enabled for all communities. B. Link selection settings are configured with probing using DPD. C. NAT is enabled, causing unnecessary encapsulation overhead. D. The MTU size is lowered to 1280 on all VPN interfaces. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Link selection using DPD. Dead peer detection probing ensures the VPN tunnel selects the best performing and available link dynamically. Without this, static IPs or domain names are used, which don't adapt to outages or latency changes. Tunnel sharing that improves performance but does not affect path selection. NAT-C adds overhead but not path choice. MTU adjustments. D are performance tweaks, not selection controls. Reference VPN admin guide. Link selection and dynamic probing. Question 7. Contrary to popular belief, interface congestion in checkpoint gateways isn't always solved by increasing interface bandwidth. Mr. Alvarez notices that VoIP traffic suffers packet drops, but bandwidth usage is low. What advanced tool and method should be used to identify and resolve this issue? A. Use CPView and analyze the core XSND load on CPU cores. B. Enable COS and assign high priority to VoIP traffic using Limits tab. C. Use multic stat to verify firewall worker distribution. D. Monitor and adjust traffic queues at MMO utility. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. MMD enables monitoring and modifying interface traffic queues, allowing prioritization of delay-sensitive traffic like VoIP. This is especially useful when bandwidth is underutilized but COS queuing or interrupt handling is misaligned. CPView provides stats but not queue control. CoreXL stats C show distribution, not queue drops. COS with Limits tab. B requires global policy and not address queue-level congestion. Reference. Checkpoint Advanced Traffic Management Guide. Interface queue management with MOA. Question 8. The general consensus is that firewall administrators should not solely rely on GUI tools. Is Rodriguez needs to validate if an IP is present in the anti-spoofing kernel table after a suspected IP spoofing attempt. What is the best command to use for this check? FWB Edel plus spoofing D. FWB the spoofing. Answer. Correct answer D. Explanation. The command FW to spoofing. You inspect the anti-spoofing kernel table showing the IPs that the firewall expects on specific interfaces. This is essential during spoofing investigation. C can log real-time spoofing drops, but not the table. OEL stat A shows kernel stat edu B relates to NAT and not spoofing. Reference CLI reference guide. Kernel tables and anti-spoofing checks. Question 9. The primary reason for deploying a secondary management server is to enhance availability. However, during a failover event, Istishang discovers policy installations are failing from the secondary server. What is the likely cause? A. The secondary server is not configured to be active. B. Only the primary can install policies. The secondary is for logging only. C. A full sync of the IKE certificate authority has not occurred. D. Policy installation scripts are not copied to the secondary server. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. If the IKE certificate authority CAR is not fully synced, the secondary management server cannot authenticate with the security gateways during policy installation. This is the critical part of management, how both primary and secondary can install policies given full sync. Logging. B is available on both. Script copying. D is irrelevant to IKE-based trust. Reference. Checkpoint R.40M in guide. Management high and IKE sync requirements. Question 10. Through careful analysis of automation workflows, a DevSecOps engineer wants to add a new host object using the Checkpoint Management API without interrupting current tasks. Which approach should be used to safely apply changes without impacting concurrent operations? A. Use the mdmt CLI tool directly with a lock override. B. Apply the add host command and then immediately publish using the same session. C. Use deepedit to inject the object directly into the database. D. Submit an API or via web services and rely on auto-publish features. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Use an mdmt CLI add host followed by a mdmt CLI publish within the same session ensures atomic changes and avoids conflicts. API changes must be published to take effect. Deepedit. C is deprecated. Web services. D do not auto-publish unless scripted. Lock override A can cause data corruption and should be avoided. Reference. Checkpoint Management API Developer Guide. Session Management Best Practices. Question 11. In light of recent developments, Istakarim is tasked with migrating a security management server from R80. During migration, he must ensure no loss of policy consistency or user session data. What is the best strategy to achieve a smooth migration without disrupting production? A. Export the database and import it into a new R server, then manually reconfigure all objects. B. Use the upgrade tools to perform an in-place upgrade on the existing management server. C. Deploy a new R management server and perform a database import, then switch gateways to point to the new server. D. Perform a fresh installation of R management and recreate the policies from scratch. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Deploying a new R management server and importing the database ensures minimal downtime and policy consistency. This side-by-side migration allows validation before Q2 in-place upgrades. B. A riskier and may cause unexpected issues. Export-import with manual reconfiguration. A. Risks errors and omissions. Fresh installation. D. Wastes time and risks misconfiguration. This approach aligns checkpoints recommended migration best practices. Reference. Checkpoint upgrade and migration guide. Side-by-side migration strategy. Question 12. During a patch rollout for a clustered environment, Isivon notices that one gateway fails to join the cluster post-upgrade, showing version mismatch errors. The cluster was operating in load-sharing multicast mode. What is the primary reason for this failure? A. The upgraded gateway's cluster XOR version is incompatible with others. B. Multicast is disabled on the network switch, causing membership issues. C. Cluster members must be upgraded simultaneously in load-sharing mode. D. The virtual MAC address was manually changed, causing conflicts. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. In a cluster-XL environment, all members must run compatible cluster-XL versions. Version mismatches cause cluster membership rejection. Multicast issues B cause communication loss, but typically not version errors. Simultaneous upgrade C is good practice, but not mandatory if versions are compatible. Manual virtual Mac changes D are discouraged but unrelated here. Reference Checkpoint Cluster Upgrade and Patching Guide. Question 13. Several experts suggest that Larson optimized gateway throughput using SecureXL and CoreXL. Given a gateway with multiple CPU cores and high traffic, which configuration approach maximizes performance without sacrificing security inspection? A. Disable SecureXL to allow deeper inspection and enable CoreXL for parallel processing. B. Enable SecureXL AATES acceleration and CoreXL with maximum cores, ensuring all inspection blades are compatible. C. Use SecureXL acceleration only on HTTP traffic and disable CoreXL. D. Limit CoreXL to a single core to avoid threading issues with SecureXL. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. SecureXL accelerates SAT traffic efficiently while CoreXL leverages multiple CPU cores to parallelize inspection. Together when blades are compatible, e.g. IPS application control, they maximize throughput without sacrificing inspection depth. Disabling SecureXL reduces performance. Using SecureXL only on no HTTPS traffic. C. Ignores ATT's benefits. Limiting CoreXL. D. Underutilizes hardware. Reference Checkpoint Performance Optimization Guide. CoreXL and SecureXL configuration. Question 14. Based on the information provided in recent threat intelligence reports, Faulkner wants to deploy an ITS rule that effectively blocks suspicious outbound DNS traffic that may be part of a tunneling attack. Which feature should he enable to best detect and prevent this? A. DNS sinkhole in threat prevention policy with custard DNS anomaly detection enabled. B. Geoprotection blocking all outbound DNS queries to foreign countries. C. Application control with DNS filtering enabled on the outbound rule. D. Enabling anti-bot protection only on inbound traffic. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. DNS sinkhole combined with DNS anomaly detection can identify and block DNS tunneling attempts by inspecting DNS query patterns and dropping suspicious traffic. Geoprotection. B. Blocks based on IP geography but may cause false positives. Application control. C. Filters apps but not deep DNS anomalies. Anti-bot. D. Focuses on botnet CC but inbound only, insufficient for DNS tunneling prevention. Reference Checkpoint Threat Prevention Admin Guide. DNS sinkhole and anomaly detection. Question 15. Considering the evidence from recent remote work expansions, Farida configures mobile access VPN for a distributed workforce. She wants to ensure both security and usability while minimizing client installation issues. Which option best fits her goals? A. Deploy mobile access portal using client or SSLPN with endpoint compliance checks. B. Force all users to install full checkpoint endpoint VPN clients with MFA enforced. C. Enable IPsec remote access VPN with split tunneling disabled for all users. D. Use third-party VPN clients integrated with checkpoint gateway ILT. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The clientless SSM mobile access portal offers ease of use, requiring no client installation while still allowing endpoint compliance checks for security. Full client VPNs B provide stronger security but are harder to deploy and manage. IPsec C is more complex and disabling split tunneling may reduce performance. Third-party VPNs D add complexity and may lack full checkpoint integration. Reference Checkpoint Mobile Access VPN Guide. Clientless portal and endpoint compliance. Question 16. When evaluating the merits of different tools, Bennett needs to identify intermittent traffic drops on a gateway suspected to be caused by interface overload during peak hours. Which tool and approach will provide the best granular insight? A. Analyze logs in SmartView Tracker for packet drops. B. Use CPView's interface tab and enable detailed statistics logging during peak time. C. Review core dumps on the gateway for interface-related crashes. D. Enable VPN debug logs to trace packet failures. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. CPView's interface tab provides real-time detailed statistics such as drop packets, errors, and queue lengths per interface, ideal for diagnosing overload-related drops. SmartView Tracker 8 logs firewall drops but may miss interface-level drops. Core dumps C are for crashes, not traffic analysis. VPN debug D only covers VPN tunnels. Reference. Checkpoint CPView tool manual. Interface and traffic statistics. Question 17. During a management hub failover, ISTA-DIA's notices policy installation is delayed on gateways connected to the secondary server. After investigation, he suspects sync delays. What process or component should he prioritize tuning to reduce such delays? A. Increase the frequency of CMA, cluster management agent, heartbeats. B. Just the management API session timeout on the secondary server. C. Optimize database synchronization interval between primary and secondary. D. Enable load balancing on the management interfaces. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Database synchronization interval impacts how quickly policy and object changes propagate between primary and secondary management servers, affecting failover responsiveness, increasing CMA heartbeats. A. Affects cluster heartbeat, not management. High API session timeout. B is unrelated. Load balancing. D improves performance but not sync latency. Reference. Checkpoint management hub practices. Database sync optimization. Question 18. While troubleshooting an intermittent security policy installation failure is Chen user FWL receives incomplete data, what other CLI tool can she use to get a more comprehensive real-time overview of firewall subsystem statuses, including kernel and user mode processes? A. OEL stati, EPSC, top D, netstat. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. CPView offers a comprehensive real-time dashboard with detailed information on firewall kernel, user mode, EPUage, network interfaces, and processes, ideal for deep troubleshooting. OEL stat shows kernel statistics only. Top C shows CPA process usage but not firewall internals. Netstat D shows network connections but not firewall subsystems. Reference. Checkpoint. Reference. CPView tool overview. Question 19. Upon closer examination of a large rule base, ISTA Vasquez finds redundant rules causing performance degradation. What is the best approach to optimize policy performance while maintaining security posture? A. Remove all rules with no hits during the last 30 days. B. Consolidate similar rules, reduce the number of layers, and reorder based on hit frequency. C. Convert all rules to cleanup rules to speed up processing. D. Split the rule base into multiple smaller policy packages applied separately. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Consolidating similar rules reduces complexity, and reordering rules based on hit frequency improves processing efficiency by reducing unnecessary matches. Removing no-hit rules. A. May cause policy gaps if conditions change. Cleanup rules. C. Are terminal rules and should be limited. Splitting policy. D. Adds management complexity and may cause conflicts. Reference. Checkpoint Security Policy Management Guide. Rule-based optimization. Question 20. Several experts suggest that to mitigate a sudden surge of attacks originating from a specific geographic region, ISTA-WANG implements geo-protection in IPS. However, legitimate users from this region complain of connectivity loss. What is the most effective method to balance security and user access in this case? A. Create an exception rule above geo-protection, allowing traffic from trusted hosts in that region. B. Disable geo-protection and rely solely on signature-based IPS. C. Reduce the geo-protection action from drop to detect. D. Block the entire region at the firewall layer before IPS inspection. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Creating exceptions for trusted hosts or subnets allows legitimate traffic while maintaining geo-protection for other sources. Disabling geo-protection. B. Reduces protection. Detect mode. C. Logs, but doesn't block attacks. Blocking the entire region. D. Is blunt and impacts all users. Granular exceptions optimize balance. Reference. Checkpoint IPS and geo-protection best practices. Question 21. When faced with a complex multi-node cluster, XOR deployment is prior, notices that failover events cause brief traffic interruptions impacting critical applications. She wants to minimize failover time without compromising cluster stability. Which advanced cluster or feature or configuration should she prioritize to achieve this? They enable virtual MAC (VMAC) addressing on the cluster interfaces. B. Increase the cluster priority of the primary node above all others. C. Disable preempt mode to avoid unnecessary failbacks. D. Use load sharing multicast mode instead of unicast. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. Enabling virtual MAC (VMAC) allows seamless MAC address failover between cluster members, significantly reducing failover latency and preventing up propagation delays, increasing priority. B. Affects failback behavior, not failover speed. Disabling preempt. C. Prevents automatic failback, unrelated to failover time. Load sharing multicast. D. Improves traffic distribution but doesn't directly failover interruption. Reference Checkpoint Cluster Excel Advanced Features Guide. VMAC failover mechanisms. Question 22. Throughout the course of management HUD deployment, Mr. Ivanov finds that the secondary management server is not receiving logs from all security gateways after failover. Which of the following is the most likely reason? A. The gateways are not configured to send logs to the secondary server's IP address. B. The secondary management server does not have database sync enabled. C. The log retention settings on the secondary are set to 0. D. The network firewall blocks syslog packets to the secondary server. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. In management, how security gateways must be configured to send logs to both primary and secondary management servers, or to a floating IP that handles failover. Without this configuration, the secondary won't receive logs. Post failover, database sync. B. Doesn't control log reception. Log retention. C. Affects storage, not reception. Network firewall blocking. D. Is possible but less common if communication works. Reference Checkpoint Management HUD Configuration Best Practices. Question 23. Illustrated by a recent network audit, ISKIN detects that a site-to-site VPN tunnel intermittently drops during heavy traffic. Logs indicate IXI established, but IPsec tunnel negotiation fails. What is the most probable cause? A. Mismatched Diffie-Hellman group settings between peers. MTU size is too small, causing packet fragmentation in the VPN. C. Phase 1 lifetime is shorter than Phase 2 lifetime. D. VPN encryption domain overlaps with local LAN subnet. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. If Phase 1 lifetime is shorter than Phase 2, the IXI rekeyes or expires before the IPsec tunnel lifetime, causing intermittent drops despite IXI being established. Mismatched DH groups, they prevent initial SAR establishment. MTU issues. B. Cause packet drops but rarely SAR failures. Overlapping encryption domains. D. Cause routing issues but not negotiation failure. Reference Checkpoint VPN Troubleshooting Guide. SAR lifetime consistency. Question 24. Given the circumstances, ISTA-SING wants to prevent lateral movement by blocking SMB protocol exploits inside the network while minimizing false positives. Which IPS deployment strategy best achieves this balance? A. Enable IPS blocking only on outbound internet rules. B. Deploy IPS in detect mode on internal segments and blocking on perimeter. C. Enable IPS with exception rules for critical servers on internal segments. D. Block SMB traffic entirely using access control instead of IPS. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Enabling IPS with carefully crafted exception rules for known critical servers allows blocking of SMB exploits while minimizing false positives that could disrupt legitimate traffic. Detect mode internally. B. Delays protection. Blocking SMB entirely. D. Is often impractical. Blocking only outbound. A. Misses internal threats. Reference Checkpoint IPS best practices. Internal network protection. Question 25. When analyzing traffic shaping in a congested network, ISLI notices high latency for critical applications during peak times despite configured cost policies. What advanced feature should she consider to dynamically prioritize critical traffic? A. Use traffic queues to statically allocate bandwidth per interface. B. Implement application control with cost rules for priority marking. C. Enable secure acceleration to bypass traffic shaping. D. Configure link selection with SAM monitoring. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Application control with COS allows dynamic identification and prioritization of critical traffic based on application signatures rather than static bandwidth allocation. Traffic queues are static and may not adapt well. SecureXL C accelerates but does not prioritize traffic. Link selection. D. Manage a VPN path but not traffic priority. Reference. Checkpoint costs and application integration guide. Question 26. Chen automates daily security audits using the Checkpoint API. To avoid race conditions, he wants to ensure that policy modifications are fully applied before starting the next script. Which API call sequence should he use? A. Send publish command immediately after set and assume success. B. Use the publish command and pulse show task until completion confirmation. C. Use add commands with synchronize flag to auto-publish. D. Call save and proceed without waiting for task completion. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. After sending publish, it's best practice to pulse show task until the task is confirmed completed to avoid overlapping changes and race conditions. Immediate assumption. A. Risks incomplete policy application that synchronized flag C doesn't exist. Save. D is local to session, not related to publishing. Reference. Checkpoint management API developer guide. Task manage. Question 27. Considering the evidence, Gupta wants to enhance mobile access VPN security by adding device posture checks but maintain usability. Which approach best balances this? A. Enforce mandatory full disk encryption via endpoint compliance policy. B. Implement endpoint posture assessment with soft checks for antivirus and firewall status. C. Require manual user certificate installation for all mobile devices. D. Enable split tunneling to reduce VPN bandwidth usage. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Soft posture checks, e.g. antivirus, firewall, status, enhance security without heavy user impact, balancing usability. Full disk encryption is ideal but hard to enforce. Manual certificate installs C. Reduce usability. Split tunneling D is about bandwidth, not posture security. Reference. Checkpoint mobile access posture assessment best practices. Question 20. To illustrate this point, Delgado configures traffic queues to improve VoIP call quality but observes increased latency on other services. What is the primary cause and how should it be corrected? A. The VoIP queue has excessive guaranteed bandwidth starving other queues. It just queue waits. B. Traffic shaping is disabled causing improper queue prioritization. C. SecureXL is bypassing traffic queues for up traffic. D. Link selection is causing uneven traffic distribution. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Assigning too much guaranteed bandwidth to VoIP queues may starve other queues, causing latency spikes. Proper queue weight adjustment ensures fair distribution. Disabled shape-in. B means no cost but wouldn't cause this imbalance. SecureXL. C. Acceleration does not bypass queues. Link selection. D. Affects VPN paths. Unrelated here. Reference. Checkpoint traffic queue management guide. Question 29. When analyzing patch deployment impact, Schwartz finds that applying a certain jumbo hotfix caused the gateway's VPN tunnels to drop. What should be his immediate troubleshooting step? A. Roll back the hotfix and check the release notes for known issues. B. Reboot the gateway to finalize patch installation. C. Disable VPN acceleration features like VPN C to test stability. D. Reapply the hotfix with the force option. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Rolling back and reviewing hotfix release notes is the safest first step to identify known issues or conflicts. Reboot. B is standard but unlikely to fix inherent bugs. Disabling acceleration. C can help isolate issues but is secondary. Force reinstall. D risks worsening issues. Reference. Checkpoint patch management and troubleshooting guide. Question 30. At the heart of Smart Event's effectiveness is its ability to correlate events. Ahmed configures Smart Event but notices minimal event correlation. What settings should he verify to improve this? A. Event correlation units are enabled and properly configured on the Smart Event server. B. The log retention period is set to less than 7 days. C. All gateways are configured to forward syslogs to Smart Event. D. The Smart Event server has at least 8 GB RAM allocated. Answer. Correct answer A. Explanation. Event correlation units are essential components that analyze logs and generate correlated events. Without them enabled, Smart Event cannot function properly. Log retention B. Affects historical data, not correlation. Syslog forwarding C. Is unrelated. A checkpoint uses proprietary log forwarding. RAM D. Impacts performance but not correlation enablement. Reference Checkpoint Smart Configuration Guide.